2025. So it's going to be rapid fire. I'm going to share, and then other leaders are going to jump in and share their nuggets from Cabo 2025. This was the most amazing event that I've ever been to. It touched me personally, spiritually, emotionally, financially. So it was amazing. And it was put on by Brent Gove, as well as Gene and many of the other leaders. And of course, in Cabo, how could you not love it, right? You guys hear me okay?
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
loud and clear.
Awesome. Okay, so I'm just going to share some of the speakers that were there. We had our CEO, Leo Pareja, that was there, and he was just basically sharing that we all need to play the hand that we are dealt. There is a lot of negativity in the industry, not from us, not at EXP, but let's face it. Last year was the lowest volume year since 1995. But we need to play the hand that we are dealt and appreciate the season that we're in. And energy is our superpower. And we need to schedule our big rocks first. Our health, our family, our beliefs, we need to schedule those first so we can go all in and be fully refreshed and ready to go with our work and serving others. And then we had Gary Brecka. Gary is amazing, and he shared a few tips, and one of them is about oxygen. He says the presence of oxygen is the absence of disease. So we need to increase our oxygen levels. And I'd recommend that you look up Gary Brecka to learn more about that. And also, he shares that sleep is our superpower. A lot of guys, I won't lie, we kind of feel like, you can't sleep in too much. You can't get too much sleep. You can't get a nap. But we need to get our sleep. And he has some great tips for sleep, consistency, and then watch what you eat, and then make sure that we really, really take advantage of getting some good sleep. Pace Morby is one of the most successful investors in the country. Pace Morby was amazing. And some of the things that he said was, number one rule is to keep more money than you make. It sounds pretty elementary, but very few people actually do it. And he believes that the three best ways to make money in real estate is wholesaling, flipping, and buying and holding. And he had some great strategies and systems to buy properties just by taking action. And when he first got started, kind of a funny story, he would ask a lot of questions. He would just ask and ask and ask. And I know when I first got started in real estate, I did the same thing. I wanted to just ask and find out more, get more information, get ready. But one of his mentors said, don't be an asshole. He's like, what? Excuse my French. He goes, did you say don't be an asshole? He said, no, don't be an asshole. You're asking way too many questions. Ask 3 questions and then go take action with what you asked. When you've done that, come back and ask more. And his quote is, reading about the thing will only delay the lessons that you learn from doing the thing. So just take action and look him up, Pace Morby. He's amazing. And then also Ed Mylett. Ed Mylett is just amazing. And I'm sure many of you have been to events. And have you ever been to an event and you just hear one thing from someone that will be absolutely priceless? I'm sure that many of you have heard that one thing. Well, he is encouraging all of us to be that one person that shares that one thing with someone else. Everyone wants to be believed in. Be that person that believes in someone else. Tell them you believe them. It's powerful and it will put people into action. So it's the dreams that we make true for other people that will bring joy. So I'm going to turn things over to Jackie. Do you have a
Okay.
few nuggets for us?
Oh my goodness, you guys. I echo Tom. This was, and I've been to a ton of events in my short 10-year journey in real estate. This was by far the best thing I've been to. It was transformational. I just want you guys to do whatever you can to get to Cabo next year. Like, I am not kidding. It is a game changer. I have a few things I wanted to highlight. One thing that Leo did say, adding to what Tom shared, is that moments of uncertainty, and we've had so much uncertainty in 2024, actually is our greatest opportunity. And that really resonated with me. Rob Flick got up, and this was just a game changer for me as well. I'm doing production. For me, I'm doing production, and I'm also doing agent attraction. And one thing he said is that he has shared the EXP kind of opportunity to 1,000 people, and he's had 840 no's. But guess what? He had 160 yeses, and that's meant $30 million in revenue share. You guys, just let that sink in. Like,
Wow.
how fast can you get to your 1,000 presentations? And that was just a game changer for me, and I'm going after it. One thing that Ed Milet said that Tom mentioned is people want you to believe in them. He dived into, think back for you guys when someone early on believed in you. Like, I bet you can come up with someone right quick. Who was the first person, maybe in your teenage years or young adult years, that just really believed in you? And one thing that he pressed into on that point is they proved it. They didn't just believe in you, but somehow, some way, they proved it to you. I think of my basketball coach in junior high. That was one of the things she wrote in my yearbook was, you're going to be the star of high school. She believed in me, and she put it in writing. And people just want you to believe in them and prove it. And I'm always looking for ways to improve my leadership. And wow, was that a game changer for me. I really love the other thing that he said, Ed did, is in life, you are the most qualified to help the people who you once were. He talked about his alcoholic father who overcame alcoholism. And after he passed away, he learned about the hundreds of people his father helped to overcome alcoholism. You are the most qualified to help those people who you once were. And it was just amazing. I mean, I could just go on and on and on and on. I took so much from it, but I'm going to leave some room for some other rock stars here that we're at the event.
Thank you so much, Jackie. Matthew Stewart, bring the heat. What do you got, brother?
All right, awesome. We'll keep it moving. So a couple things, just the power of having guests there. And it kind of correlates to my second aspect that, there were people that brought more guests than Lexi and I, and I'm a pretty competitive person and take full responsibility for my business. So I'm like cheering them on because I'm excited for them to grow. But then also internally, I'm like, all right, we gotta, strap on our boots here and get to work. And but we did have a guest there, a pretty good sized guest, and it was really interesting because it was her team that was actually pushing her to go out and see what else is out there from her current brokerage. And they went to Compass. They went to actually family reunion with Keller Williams just before coming to Cabo. She made the commitment to come out to Cabo. And by the third day that she was there, it was a complete, I would say, Lexi and I both would agree that it was a transformation of just her comfort level and really feeling the energy and just going, wow, it is different here. This is pretty special. And I asked her, how was it at family reunion? She goes, no, it's good. You know, kind of what you expect. KW and da 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 da. And I said, well, how does it, you know, be honest with me and the fence post here. How does it compare to what you're experiencing in Cabo? And she's like, man, it's very, very different. Like the energy and the collaboration and the connections and just like, it kind of feels like family. And I go, yep, that's exactly how it is. And isn't it interesting? People on the outside that don't really know the inside of EXP kind of think, well, how, you know, are you guys even connected? I need an office to have that culture. And I'm like, nah, offices don't breed culture. It's the people that do. So we're actually flying out as a result to cross country to meet with her and her team and all that next week. And that's direct result of Cabo. I've been talking to her for 4 years. Right. So it's timing and then getting them to an event. And then also the aspect of, gosh, we got to get more people to events because the events do the heavy lifting. It's kind of like describing what a banana tastes like to someone who's never had one. You just can't do it. They got to actually eat one and try and go, oh, that's what a banana tastes like. Right. So piggyback on Gary Brecka, you know, I've heard him. This is the third time in person because Lexi and I never miss events. I've taken 2 days in a row of cold showers after being as hot as I could and doing the cold shower. I did it this morning and I'm fired up. And so that's great. I changed the setting on my phone at night to a red setting. So get rid of the blue light. And I think I'm probably sleeping a little better. And then Pace Morby, you know, I've been licensed since 95, if you can believe it. Thankfully since 19. And I haven't done a lot of like creative financing type stuff like Pace. And man, was it just kind of opening your mind of possibilities. You got to get in the right rooms. You can't stay home and go, well, you know, I don't need a rah event. No, you absolutely do. And you're missing a lot of the stuff by not being in the right rooms. And Pace Morby spoke for like 2.5 hours, just kind of opening up certain things of his playbook. And the aha that I came away with is he actually puts realtors on, you know, like equity partners. So in the passive income that he gets, he actually makes you a percentage owner and getting the monthly passive income, which is brilliant because then you're going to want to bring more deals to him. And one realtor that was a hard no ended up being a yes because he dropped commission at the end of a closing, left it in the escrow, the title company. And he called her and she had rejected him 100% through the whole thing. And he goes, hey, I just wanted to let you know there's a commission at title for you, which she wasn't deserving of one because she didn't help him do the deal. But he was super intelligent. He goes, he was planting a seed and it was contingent upon them doing a deal in the future, but it was there for her already. Now I think they've done either 12 or maybe it was 21, getting them mixed up, but they've done at least 12, let's say, deals together where she's turned him on to deals and he has put her as equity partner in the positive cash flow coming in, which, you know, breeds more deals. It was pretty incredible. So anyway, there you go. I could go on and on, but we'll leave room for other people.
Matthew, thank you so much, man. I love it. Yeah, big things happen at big events. Okay, let's go to Randy if you're ready, Randy. And then after Randy, it's going to be Russ. Let's go.
Yeah, thanks, Tom. Appreciate it, man. Clearly a great event. One of the best lineups I've probably ever seen. I got a lot of takeaways. I'm still kind of going through pages and pages and pages of notes. And Kirsty and I met for 3 hours in the airport, kind of condensed that down. And then we get into a posture to where we go, okay, these are the top couple things. So my takeaway for me and for you is to boil this down to 2 or 3 things you could actually take action on, right? My word for 2025 is initiative. Initiative says a lot. So what I highlighted was a couple things. Number one, and not in order, matter of fact. Number one, To the agents, you are one Google search away from being replaced. Let that soak in for a minute. You're one Google search away from being replaced, unless you've created a community, friendship, trust, partnership, value. Brand is what comes up for me. If you have a brand, that brand should stand for who you are. And that makes you relevant to a Google search of somebody they don't know, but they may outbrand you. So think about that. That was a big kind of aha for me. I'll just go over a couple of these and then I'll turn it back over. But Coach Burt, intensity. Intensity is everything. Fell with velocity. Brent says a lot. Very true. But what is the intensity in your business right now? Play to win, not to lose. Some of us are playing to lose or playing not to lose. We're not playing to win, because if you play to win, there's risk. There's risk that you put yourself out there at a very high level and then you lose. Yes, that is failure. But if you talk to anybody of great success, they have come through multiple failures. You may be one failure away from your breakthrough. Don't be attached to the failure. Be attached to the win. So, exposure, Matthew just talked about a little bit, getting out of your comfort zone and exposing yourself to more people, bigger people, get in bigger rooms and bigger tables. My take, probably my favorite event highlight from the whole thing was Steve Harney. I keep pronouncing his last name wrong, but he's a partner with Pace Morby in their system. He has Prime Financial Services. They called me right after I joined Pace's community and they were selling me. And I was closed because it was a sales posture, it felt like. And I was closed-minded that I don't need all these things yet, right? And then the CEO of the company shows up in Cabo. And then he speaks and I'm totally drawn to him and I'm totally attracted to him. And I'm like, dude, this guy's rocking. So afterwards I go, hey man, can we go hang out? I heard you mention like cigars. I got cigars. Let's go have cigars. So we sat out there for 3 hours and had cigars till midnight. Got to know him as a human being, got to know about his company and all this stuff. And I told him, I said, I got to be vulnerable with you. I said, I blew off your guys because they called me and I really, I wasn't open-minded to what you had to sell at that point. And you know what he said? He goes, I want to dig into that. I want to find out what he said so we can learn and grow from that, because I want to add value with you knowing that we're adding value. And I was like, that's really, really powerful, right? So my takeaway from this is really expose yourself to bigger rooms, bigger tables. Don't be shy, because that's not where you're going to grow. That's not where you're going to really move into the next version of who you are, right? So hopefully that's helpful for somebody.
Got it.
Thanks,
Randy,
man.
I love it. And I wrote down, take initiative with intensity. That's money, right? That's a writer downer. Thank you. Okay, let's go to Russ and then Stephanie.
Hey, thank you, Tom. Echo everybody else. The best event ever. And I'm going to do 3 different things from 3 different categories. I've thought about it. Number 1, the relationships that you form outside of the actual mastermind are unbelievable. The night before the event started, I'm sitting in the spa, we're having drinks, enjoying life, and I meet with the owner of one of the largest commercial lenders in the country. We hung out for about 45 minutes. In 2 weeks, I'm going to be flying to Atlanta to meet with him and one of my largest commercial clients, where we're going to do huge commercial loans. So that's number 1. Some of the best conversations happen outside. Number 2, I'm going to disagree with everyone here. Don't come to Cabo next year unless you invite people. Don't come without people. Every single person that I invited, and let me tell you, we broke the bank. We invited a ton. Thanked me so much. I forced some people to come. I guilted them into coming. And afterwards, they're like, life-changing event, best thing that ever happened to me. We actually worked really hard last year, invested in people, made a ton of phone calls, and big decisions are made at big events. We brought on 2 absolute rock star groups because of the event. And then third, I keep popping into the chat box. Hopefully you've seen it, the resources for this year's event, so you can actually go see it. The gentleman that hit me the hardest was from our own organization, Jay Kender. He actually did, in my opinion, the best job of detailing why we are the best company in the world by far, and everyone is coming. He put it in a point by point, bullet by bullet, section by section, easily digestible format. And I keep adding that link for everybody so that you can go see it yourself, because I'm not going to do it justice. So those are my 3 things, Tom.
Awesome. Well, good job. Just like Stephen Covey says, you learn more in the hallway than you do in the classroom at these big events. So let's go. Okay, Stephanie, and then Amir.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
All right.
All right. I have so many notes full of implementation, and I set myself a schedule to go back through my notes. I time blocked it, and I said, what's one small thing that I can do in the next 30 days that's going to move the needle and have an immediate impact? So I'm just giving you my schedule of how I make the most out of when I get home. And then I went back through and I said, what's something that I can do in the next 90 days that's going to have the most impact? And what's something that I want to accomplish by the end of the year? What has stood out most for me, I mean, I can get a lot of practical tips that might help me sell 1 or 2 more homes because I still am very production driven. I was reminded, and I know it was said here already, we're one Google search or one Zillow search away from losing a client and losing a lifetime relationship. So I am feeling very convicted to be focusing on more longevity in my business, and how can I set my family up for financial freedom that doesn't depend on me being out there knocking on doors and pounding the pavement every day. And revenue share really is the best opportunity for that. So that was my biggest takeaway. Real estate investing and revenue share and building deeper relationships that are going to work towards that. The one quote that has rung in my mind since then was, it's an Ed Milet, of course. What does God really want me to be? And I have played small because I like being home. I like being with my kids. I left Cabo early because it was my daughter's 13th birthday and we celebrated this weekend. And that's a priority to me. I was reminded I don't need to be on stage. I don't need to be going to Dubai and traveling across the world every day to have a big impact. And if you've heard Ed Milet's story, he talks about the man that impacted his dad to become sober, and then the impact that his dad has had and how that's changed. Like, Ed Milet would not be who he is today if it weren't for that man that saved his dad. And so for me, I took away, I don't need to be talking to thousands. What if I was that one person that changed one life and one family's life that had a ripple effect through the world? So that was my biggest takeaway. That's what I'm focusing on for the next 30 days specifically. And then where do I want to be at the end of this year?
I love it. Stephanie, you're so focused on your schedule and your family. That's awesome. So Amir, let's hear from you. And then Courtney Michelle.
It's a little bit loud. I'm here at the TEDx event in Vegas. So I've been to many different classes and seminars, from Tony Robbins to coaching programs to EXP, but nothing, absolutely nothing can beat our Cabo events, right? So not only because of education, but mostly networking and just networking with others and helping us to grow our business. And I agree 100% with Russ. So we invested a lot of in this event, but we had some of the top real estate experts coming with us, and they will be joining us now. But my biggest takeaway and what I was mostly excited listening to Gary Brecka. I mean, Gary Brecka, health coach. Keep in mind, we all can be making a lot of money. Yeah, you can be very wealthy, but you cannot be wealthy without being healthy, right? So first, number one priority for everybody is health. As we all know, a healthy man has a lot of wishes, but once you're sick, you have only one wish. And definitely I'm starting with hydrogen water soon for Gary Brecker advice. And overall, I mean, many speakers were to the point. I'm sorry we missed Tom Ferry, but hopefully next time. But definitely by far, Gary recommend.
Okay, so for me, I'm going to get tactical with you guys. So get a pin, although we'll put it in the chat as well. I'm going to go back to Pace Morby because I thought he had a lot of really good nuggets that we could use with our sellers. Number one, just being that don't assume that you know what's best for your seller or what they're going to want to do. There's a lot of options out there that he presented and tools that we can use to help move some of our stale listings and or win in the listing presentations. One of them was called Deal Sauce. It's $97 a month. It's an investor software, and it really intrigued me because they had some pretty cool farming that you could do. He suggested that you look up listings that have 100 days on market or more and a 4% interest rate or less with less than 5% equity. And you can go after those as a subject to option, which we can get into on another day, which is just an opportunity for your client to move their property and get their money over time. He also recommended a website called utopiahomes.us. This was a tool for buyers that are not quite qualified yet, but there are actually options for them to buy. And I started looking into it, and it's as agents, you can get full commissions by helping these buyers and going through their program. And then the last thing, I'm going quickly, or actually two last things. One, when you go to your listing appointment, he comes with 4 offers. And of course, you're going to have your normal pitch of what you think that the home is worth, but you can also suggest a price point from an investor. And it might be a lower price point than what they want to see, but you're coming to the table with a buyer in hand right off the bat. And they might not be ready or interested in that offer right now, but 3 months down the line, if it hasn't sold, things could change. And that's just another tool in your tool belt that some of your competition might not have. And then the last thing I had not heard of, and maybe you guys have, is called co-living. And this is something where they're renting by the room versus renting a whole house. And so where a home might rent for $2,000 a month, they're getting $8,000 a month. And you can look on a website called padsplit.com. And that's what I have for you today.
Thank you so much, Courtney. Okay, Michelle, and then Patrick.
Hey, everybody, the General here. I want to first and foremost say thank you to everybody that's on this call, because without all of you, I would not be here. When I reflect back to last year, Courtney and I came to EXP and it was just the two of us. And I'm not sure if you guys had the opportunity to see the crew that we brought, but we had over 15 people in Cabo this year. So shout out to Courtney and everybody on this call, because events work. One of our key agents in the Merced Atwater location that joined us has officially come to EXP. And we also have somebody on the call right now. I want to give a shout out to Randall Zamora in Dallas, Texas, who joined Gina and Travis's group. So I just want to let everybody know that I'm incredibly grateful. That being said, my major takeaway came from Robert Colello. Something he said rang true to me, meaning when he's serving his clients, he's always setting up their expectations and telling them and explaining what they can expect next. I think that's incredibly important in the people that we're currently serving in Now Nation, from the point that we sign them up in EXP to getting them moving along in our relationships with them. I want everyone to understand what they can expect next. So that's for our internal agents, but also obviously the clients that we're serving in real estate and in my family. I just genuinely want them to understand like what's next for us. I came home and I poured into them all of the things that mommy learned when I was away. And I also feel like there's a large part of me that I haven't tapped into, and I've been challenged to explore that. And I learned in this event, why am I not sharing my story? People need to hear about the General and where she was, where she's come, and how can that impact everybody's life. So finally, one of the things that Ed Milet said that really rang true was all of us need to sharpen our beaks and pluck out the feathers that no longer serve us. So with that being said, I'm going to continue every day to remind myself something that Coach Burt said, to hit that activation button. Let's go, everybody.
Awesome. Let's go. Thanks, Michelle. Okay, Patrick James, and then Josh Saxton. Keep it going.
All right. Good morning. So like many of us on this call, I've been to a lot of events and a lot of leadership events. I have to say this was at the very top. One of the things that really jumped out to me was Kyle Wissel, Wissel, said that your network is your net worth. Your network is your net worth. And it really resonated for me because coming into this, Josh and I had only been with EXP for 3 weeks. And the amount of time with the leaders at the very top of our organization and top of the company that they took to get together and really pour into us. And personally, for me, having the opportunity to sit 2.5 hours with Gene Fredericks and go over an entire platform that it's simplicity equals success, right? And how we draw this out from point, it absolutely changed the way I was looking at everything. You are the reflection of the 5 closest relationships to you. So my question that I had to ask myself, how has that changed now? After this event, now who are the 5 closest? Why are they the 5 closest? And how often are we updating that list? Because who we were yesterday is not who we are today and will not be who we are tomorrow. So I just want to give a huge shout out to every, this list goes on and on. Tom, you're amazing. Russell, you are a stud. And Amir, we spent a ton of time together, as well as Gene, and just throughout the entire. Jackie, love you. Thank you. It's go time.
Awesome. Okay, cool. All right. Thanks, Patrick. Okay, John Saxton and then Trevor.
Hey, everybody. As Patrick had mentioned, EXP for about 3 weeks when we went to Cabo. So 4 weeks into EXP and, a trip to Cabo with a lot of these amazing and beautiful people on this call. So, and I say beautiful because this is a group of people that have some of the biggest hearts and minds that I've ever met in my life. And as Patrick and a lot of people had said on this call, I've also been to some of these large events. This was a very hyper-focused group of people. There was about 1,000 people there that went throughout the event. I just got to meet people and talk to them on a very, very, very different scale and a different level. The conversations it's the room that I want to be in. It's the people that I surround myself with, as Patrick said as well. And I really appreciated what, Stephanie and Courtney and a few others said on this, because I did Pace Morby the dude almost spent 3 hours with us, you guys. That does not happen. So couple things. One thing I wanted to mention on this that I really got from this event was I really sat down and focused and thought about everything that I learned, because it is from a fire hose, right? There's so many different people and so many aspects of life. And the biggest thing that I took from this was, and I wrote it down, a couple things, deliver value in every interaction that you have. And that came from Leo Pareja, who's a CEO. I really took that advice and thinking that I am delivering value to my clients and to some of the people that are closest to me, but I need to be thinking a lot bigger picture. I think, Michelle, you mentioned it as well, right? So I need to be getting my voice out there. I need to be impacting people on a much higher scale. And another thing that I wrote down here too was relationships will get you so much more than money could ever buy. And I'll say that one more time. Relationships will get you so much more in your life than money could ever buy. And that really, really impacted me. I think that was from Coach Burt, by the way. And so it's just an incredible thing to hear that and that delivering value in every interaction. And I want my interactions to be on such a larger scale. I think Michelle mentioned it too. And the last thing to mention that I got, and again, it was from Leo Pareja, was EXP is a platform that allows entrepreneurs to do whatever they want. And he stressed it. He said, whatever they want. It can be in any way, every way. And it's not my EXP pitch. It's just an incredible thing to hear from a leader that says that you can literally do whatever you want if you have that entrepreneurial mindset. And not everybody thinks that way. And I just wanted to mention that I came back a totally changed person, and I appreciate so many of you on this call for that. And last thing to Russell was one of those that was like, you're going to get there. And so was Tom too. So I appreciate you both for being like, dude, if you really are serious about this, you're going to get there. And it's totally changed my life. So I appreciate you both for like basically not giving me the option. Thanks, Russ. Thanks, Tom.
Well, hey, we appreciate you, brother. Okay, we're going to go to Trevor, and then it's open mic. If any of you have anything to share, right after Trevor, what do you got?
So everything that everyone has said is absolutely true. These events do change lives. It's certainly changed my life. But I don't know that I can add a whole lot. Everybody has articulated it so well. But one thing that did resonate with me was also with Kyle. I think it's Wesley. And he said, don't compare your chapter 1 to my chapter 10. And I think that is a good thing to remember, because for me, I start thinking about how far I have to go and why have I not gotten there. And so just take action. Your chapter 1 is not someone's chapter 10. So that was super important to me. And I also want to say, it just encourages me every time how many people in this group have poured into me when there's nothing in it for them sometimes. And so that just continues to encourage me to continue to pour into people. And like Stephanie said, sometimes it's just that one person. So that's what Cabo did for me.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Trevor. Okay, it's open mic time. I'm sorry if I missed some of you leaders. I'm scrolling through seeing who's on here. But if anyone would like to share or has an aha or a nugget, now's your time. Man, let the silence do the heavy lifting, right?
How about Scott Jensen or Mandy?
Yeah. I'll go ahead and jump in here. So there's enough time for everybody else. I mean, it's like everybody else. I could go on and on and on. I mean, last year Cabo was really great. This year, it was. I don't know. The impact was just absolutely. I mean, just everybody that was up there. I like it was mentioned many times. Just going through the tons and tons of notes. I think, like Randy Bird was saying, and just really reflecting on what everybody had to say and taking away the main points from everybody. And it was very interesting. And I don't know if this is a God thing or if it's just that time of life, but every single speaker told me, hey, you know what, Scott, you're not immortal. And EXP has something that the others don't. They have a third revenue stream called revenue share. Get going. I've been here for 2.5 years. I've got one person under me, well, 2. And I mean, it's sitting right there for you. And it's not only sitting there for you, it's sitting there for your family. It's sitting there for generations ahead. And so you know, without babbling on and on and on and repeating myself, it's just I really jump into those 3 different revenue streams that EXP gives you, and so it was Jake Hender. I absolutely agree with Russell there. He did such a great job dissecting that, and I was so excited that Russell put the link for the Cabo resources here, because I want to just slowly go through that. I took a photo of every single slide he had, and then of course Rob Fleck was just unbelievable as well with all of his stuff. So I don't know. I hope you guys are as charged as I am, as energized, and man, go get it. You've got so many people out there to touch. You've got so many people out there to help, so many families to bless. Just get out there and make it happen.
Well, I appreciate that. And Scott, that reminds me of the saying, your eyes will only see, your ears will only hear exactly what you are looking for, right? Well, hey, thank you so much for all of your support and your love. And man, this was a great call. So now you all got your inspiration. Time to put in the perspiration. We'll see you next week. Thanks, guys. Have a good day. Let's go. Woo!